Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are new here. Hello, my name is Ashley, I do nail art, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I did these oil slick nails. Initially, why I ended up making a video for this was because when I did these 3 years ago, I liked them, but I didn't love them. I felt like they looked more like a fruit roll-up, and I wanted to try to recreate these and make them better looking. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here's what an oil slick looks like if you've never heard or seen one before. Any nail polish would work for this, but I decided to use neons just because when I played around with color combinations, neons were the best because they were the brightest and they worked better. So I know you gotta be sitting there wondering, how on earth did I manage to come up with oil slick nails using a stamper and some nail polish? I was playing around with other color combinations and playing with my stampers, and this was just how it happened. So if you could not already tell by the title of this video or where the direction of this video is going, yes, this is technically a fluid nail art video. The only difference between this and my other fluid nail art videos is I used a stamper with this. Now, there was one other video where I used a stamper. I will leave a card in the upper hand corner just so you get an idea of how I do fluid nail art around here if this is your first time here. Basically, in a nutshell, this is just me applying polish to the plastic covering of either a DVD case or a game covering case because the nail polish just peels off really easily. As for how much polish I applied, I can only guess and eyeball how much I'm going to need depending upon how long my nail length is. After I've applied what I think is enough polish for myself, I will take my sticky stamper and I will press it down on the polish that I just applied, straight in the middle, and smush it down. Now, this is going to look hella dark, but I promise you it isn't as dark as it appears on camera because this is what it looks like underneath my lighting. And this is what the polish looks like on the sticky stamper side. I definitely think they both turned out extremely well. It was better than what I had originally anticipated for. Okay, so I sped this part up, but I just wanted to show you how this looked with the clear jelly stamper versus the sticky stamper. I initially went with the clear jelly stamper, but it wasn't coming out how I pictured it in my head, and this happened with one of my other videos as well, where I used the sticky stamper versus the clear stamper, and for some reason the sticky stamper just works better for some reason. I'm not a scientist, I don't know the science behind it, but if I had to guess, I would say it has something to do with the adhesion and how the sticky stamper head is made. But I just ended up going with this sticky stamper in the long run, and I just wanted to show you how it turned out. And don't get me wrong, it turned out beautiful still, but it just wasn't what I had pictured in my head. As always with any nail art, I always like to start out with a base coat just to prevent staining, chipping, and to make the manicure last longer. Here I'm using Super Chic Lacquer's Bring It On base coat. Taking an extra step, I applied a coat of white polish. Here I'm using Whiteout from Just Ricarda, and the reason why I do this is since the decals are a little thinner, I want to make sure that these decals really stand out and pop. With decals, I like to have the nail polish stick to something, so I applied a layer of yellow stopper from ACI. I let my decal dry for about 2 to 3 hours on the stamper. I didn't want to leave it on there for too long because if you leave nail polish on a stamper for too long, it gets dry, it cracks, it crumbles. So I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to crack on me. So I carefully took my water marbling tool and I just kept kind of poking underneath without trying to ruin my stamper head, because I told you this thing was really sticky and I had to use a pair of tweezers to pull it off. Now this may or may not be the decal that you seen at the beginning of the video, because I may or may not have messed up my finger, but that's okay because listen, it's a decal, you know, I can make more, it's fine, you know, it's all done the same way. and then I picked it off with a pair of tweezers carefully because it really wanted to stay. I placed the decal onto my nail and I took a cuticle pusher and gently pushing onto my nail just to make sure that the decal is actually sticking to my nail. Could you imagine if I didn't even bother cutting off the excess and just left this on my finger the way it was right now and walking around being like, hey, how do you like my new nail design? Although that would look incredibly ridiculous, I then took a small pair of cuticle scissors and just cut carefully around my nail, making sure that I'm not cutting anything that isn't necessary, like my actual finger. And then I also took a concealer brush from e.l.f., dipped in some acetone, and melting the sides down. I also make sure to clean underneath my free edge as well. These are going to look a little lackluster because when neons dry, they dry to a matte finish, so I used a top coat to make everything shiny and seal it in. Here I'm using Super Chic Lacquer's Marvel Liquid Top Coat. When applying top coat, I always make sure to float the brush over my entire nail, making sure that I'm also getting the sidewalls and capping my free edge. That is the end of this video. I thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful at all, you like what you see, you like what you saw, drop a like, comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and until then, I will see you in my next video.